Hello everybody, this is going to be one of the more weird videos, but today I'm going to be reviewing not a figure, not any figure, not talk about any news. I'm just going to make a review on the film I've seen just today, and that is Godzilla vs. Kong. Spoiler warning. So a huge disclaimer, there is a massive spoiler warning there's gonna be spoilers of course in this review, so obviously I'm gonna be pretty biased about, this film. Probably, who knows, I don't know. But just to let you know, spoiler alert, there will be spoilers in this review. So if you want to go ahead and watch this review but don't want spoilers, here's what I need you to do. Well, I don't know how to do time codes and somewhat lazy at time codes. Probably watch, let's say, I wouldn't say watch this, but try to watch Godzilla vs. Kong with your family, or just watch it by yourself like I'm doing right now. And then come back here to basically watch the review of this film. Gives me, I don't know, more views, I guess. But anyways, let's get this straight out of the way. This movie's pretty good. It's not bad. It had so let's start off with the main thing, and I'm gonna say the story. The story was pretty good. Kong, basically Kong in the beginning, Skull Island has become uninhabitable, that to the point Kong has to be basically transported to a different island to stop Godzilla. Now, since Godzilla is attacking random apex for some unknown reasons, he's attacking apex for some unknown reasons, that we don't know of. During this film, Kong uncovers the truth about his ancestors, and later on, of course, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. They transport Kong into a aircraft carrier cargo thing where he introduced to the Blondie character in this film, but of course, moving on. Apparently it is learned that Kong can talk to Gia, the main girl. Well, not the main girl, but she is the kid who is basically deaf, uses sign language to Kong, and is very extraordinary. They even talk about how maybe Gia could talk to Kong, and maybe can convince him to go down to the Hollow Earth. Meanwhile, Godzilla is attacking cities, and basically, not really attacking cities, he's attacking, and he is so close to Kong. Kong basically is trapped on that boat sitting duck. He is literally just chicken, kind of, I don't know. Now you get that iconic trailer shot where, where Godzilla apparently sinks down to the bottom, and then he bangs on the ship. Godzilla then jumps out, the ship sinks, but they release Kong. Kong kind of fights back, and lifts the ship back up. Kong then rips off his collar, and then roars in triumph. Kong then uses some smart techniques to basically do parkour on most aircraft carriers, and then, after doing those aircraft carriers, he literally after jumping on those, Godzilla, attacks some jets. Not necessarily destroying them, I think destroying some, but at least, one pilot, I guess, survived. Kong throws a jet at Godzilla, of course, the pilot survived. Then, we get into the epic punch. Godzilla's on the aircraft carrier, roars at Kong. Kong then uses his giant fist to then punch Godzilla right to the face, but then Godzilla counters it with a slap. Yes, Kong falls, and Godzilla's about to kill him with his atomic breath, I guess, but Godzilla ceases to avail because of missiles. During that time, Kong is able to recover and punch Godzilla. After punching Godzilla not really off the ship, he then, shoves him off the ship, or just, uses his shoulder to push him off the ship. And then, of course, Godzilla's slightly smart. Godzilla then goes underwater again, fires his atomic breath at the bottom of the ship. Kong, being smart, jumps, and, the ship is destroyed. During that time, Kong has to basically survive underwater, kind of. He gets hit, smacked underwater, and he also tries to get on the boat, but not really. After doing that, they try to have a plan, but of course it doesn't work. During that time, Kong and Godzilla, of course, are fighting, and after Kong, basically gets almost killed underwater, the military thought the good idea was to send torpedoes. Sends torpedoes to Godzilla and Kong. Apparently, Kong survived. Godzilla remained unharmed. The Monarch's plan during that time was to play dead. Play dead and make sure Godzilla thinks that he won, but technically it's a tie, I guess. And then the main character, Agent Brooks, has a great idea to why not go ahead, bring Kong to Antarctica via helicopters. Now, before I go into that, I forgot to mention the whole Apex stuff is in this. Apex is like a corrupt company. Apparently is selling this, Benny, who's trying to uncover the truth about what happened and why he doesn't trust Apex. And then he also has his own documentaries where Millie Bobby Brown's character, Madison, listens to and goes with her, boyfriend in this timeline, boyfriend Josh with her, and then, human drama, etc., etc. Kong, after that, of course, they transport Kong into the Hollow Earth or Antarctica. Kong basically is there. He gets dropped off at Antarctica. He doesn't destroy the helicopter, he just gets dropped off there. He then tries to figure out where he's gonna go, and it looks like he's not gonna be forced there until Gia was told by, of course, Dr. Eileen to basically tell Gia to tell Kong to go to the Hollow Earth because his ancestors might be there. We are then introduced to the Heaves, which were already introduced. They're Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicles. By then, Kong goes underground and falls into the Hollow Earth, which is a beautiful, beautiful shot. I'll leave a screenshot, and I'll say this. It looks nice. It looks beautiful. I love that shot. I love the shots in that. So, I'll show you some quick little footage and some, not really footage, but some clips. Not really clips, I'll just photos. See ya. Just watch. Beautiful shots. It just looks very nice. Then Godzilla, of course, Godzilla. Then, of course, Kong's in the Hollow Earth. Uncover some stuff. But meanwhile, on top of the Earth, Godzilla arrived in Hong Kong to fight someone in Apex. I wonder who could it be? Anyways, Godzilla then fires an atomic breath. Probably strong. I thought he was going to do something from Shin. But he basically creates a hole to the Hollow Earth. But that happens later on. I know I'm rushing myself. I know I'm rushing this review. It's pretty bad, I'll be honest. Kong basically then uncovers the battle axe. Originally, I thought he just grabbed it or ripped it off Godzilla's dorsal plates or Godzilla's body, but he just apparently grabs it from the Hollow Earth. So there's nothing really to worry about. Godzilla then basically, let's say this, Godzilla not really kills. We have some plot twist stuff. The axe gets charged up, and apparently the main Apex girl, I forgot her name again, is apparently twisted. She is working with the main CEO of Apex, which, bruh, what? I did not expect that, I'll be honest. I think also, she also, leaves them, but Kong has to fight with apparently creatures known from the Hollow Earth known as Hellhawks. Forgot to mention, he fought the Warbats, but I think I'll just mention those later, and I'll mention them through this review. I also say, after that, Kong basically destroys the Heave. That's the main Apex CEO girl, I forgot her name is, and then crushes it, and then he makes it up to Hong Kong, and Gia and Eileen and crew. Gia and crew basically follow up. Then we move on to the battle in Hong Kong, which is very nicely shot. We got a lot of good stuff. We get the iconic, the tree shove back in King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1962, where he shoved a tree down Godzilla's throat. We sort of get that, but with Kong's battle axe. That's very unique and interesting. Kong basically wins that first battle, and Godzilla wins the second battle by asserting his dominance. And then the big guy shows up. Spoiler alert, Mechagodzilla is in this movie. Well, technically he was revealed 2019, I guess, when some guy had the brightest idea to reveal that Mechagodzilla was the main villain. Enough said. Mechagodzilla appears, Godzilla fights Mechagodzilla, completely just gets owned by Mechagodzilla. Of course, Kong is very weakened and slowly dying, so they decide to blow up the Heave. And Kong is charged up. He is ready to fight. He gets his shoulder back into place and basically fights Mechagodzilla along with Godzilla. I'd say that final battle was brutal. It was perfect. Them teaming up and, Kong getting his axe, slashing and dashing Mechagodzilla to bits. And then, of course, Bernie and Co. are then able to hotwire, or somewhat use the power of water to basically electrocute the whole circuit board that is Mechagodzilla's controls, which somewhat doesn't really do anything to him. Mechagodzilla then gets completely owned by Kong once his axe gets charged. First getting his arms ripped off, then his leg, and then before Mechagodzilla could completely cut Kong in half, spoiler alert, Mechagodzilla doesn't really cut Kong in half. Mechagodzilla gets slashed to bits. And then, boom, gets his head ripped off. That is brutal, especially with the tar black oil blood. The battle's over. Godzilla and Kong team up, and Godzilla goes back to shore. Kong is left to drop his axe and not fight Godzilla. Everyone's safe. Madison is safe. Introduces Mark to Bernie, and Kong moves into the Hollow Earth to be secured. So, roughly, of course, I have only watched this once, or in fact twice, so, or 1.5 times, I guess, I don't know. I'd say the story's pretty good. I don't know about you, but I think Godzilla's way to be evil is pretty decent. I mean, maybe he just changed, or he was just mind controlled by Alan Jonah. In fact, why not bring Alan Jonah back? I wonder what happened to him after Godzilla. Basically, after that, now we move on to the characters. The characters, I'd say, probably had no growth, but come on, everyone really cared for is just the monster action. I'd say the overall characters are fine, but they're very well developed. The kaijus themselves, or the titans themselves, Godzilla, of course, doesn't get that amount of screen time, but he is very good. He is very monster-like, very, reptilian-like, and it's just so good. Kong, then, is very sympathetic and, very humanized, in my opinion. Spoiler, he speaks in sign language, which is something. But apparently it's a thing that gorillas could do. Look at most gorillas and search up gorilla sign language, and then you should be good to go. Kong also has one of, I think, Mechagodzilla. Oh man, this Mechagodzilla is something. Spoiler alert. There is a skullcrawler in the film. There is. The problem is it's in an Apex containment center, and Mechagodzilla grabs the skullcrawler's arms and then fires this laser, atomic breath, whatever it's called, down to the skullcrawler's mouth, and then it just slices the poor thing in half. That is sad, because I was so looking forward to the skullcrawler to be a threat to Godzilla, or at least fight Godzilla, not just be killed very, very easily. Who knows, maybe they could have just added more skullcrawlers. But I'm going to be honest, I think the best part, of course, there's the Warbats. Warbat is very decent of a kaiju. I think his death was also pretty brutal. Their deaths. Kong basically just, pounds the poor Warbat in half. Probably even rips the Warbat's wings. And then rips his head off and then eats it. That is disgusting. Warbat's a pretty interesting titan and a decent foe for Kong. Kong, I would say, I think that's all there is. I really wish Behemoth or any other titan like Rodan could have appeared in this movie. But apparently in the opening credit scene, which reminded me way too much of the MCU, but then again, post-Godzilla openings from the monsters kind of almost have this MCU-like vibe, but not really. This undercover, top secret type opening. But I think apparently it said that Rodan is defeated, and other titans like Behemoth, Methuselah, Scylla, and the new Muto are apparently defeated. So does that mean Godzilla killed them? Okay. I'm gonna say the best part. The music is pretty good. I listen to the Godzilla and Kong themes on Spotify. Most of the time it's just the Kong and Godzilla themes. Godzilla theme is, in my opinion, it's good, but it's also bad. Why? It sounds completely the same as it did in 2019. They're just it's just that one is more heroic, and the other one is just to be more suspense and terrifying and evil. Kong's theme is interesting, and, the roars, very interesting. Mechagodzilla's roars, I think they had some combinations of Ghidorah's roars, which is very good, because apparently, spoiler alert, Ghidorah's bones and DNA are connected to are then transferred to Mechagodzilla. I don't know. They're just, probably transmitted to Mechagodzilla to basically fight Godzilla. And he just went out of control. Kind of like Mechagodzilla in the 74 film and 75 film, I guess. But, also like Kiryu. And moving on to Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla's design is not that bad. It's threatening. I think the main problem I have with him is the eyes. The eyes aren't necessarily good, but it just kind of looks kind of derpy and doofy. I did really like his abilities, and I did dig his roars and his brutality. And as I saw in one comment on Gamester Studios' video, it was about, this is a combination of all the three Mechagodzillas. Kiryu from the Millennium Era, how he basically gets the control on himself on his own. He is built out of something like Super Mechagodzilla, how he's built out of Mecha King Ghidorah's parts. And he is evil like the Showa Mechagodzilla. That's what I needed for so long. I needed evil Mechagodzilla. Kiryu is more like the heroic Mechagodzilla. But, like, something has to fill in the gate for evil Mechagodzilla. And nope. And, like, the 74 film is the only one with the evil Mechagodzilla. Most of the time, I mean, I would count Kiryu going berserk, but it's just Kiryu going berserk, and he's technically still a hero. I don't know, man. This is me really loving the Millennium Era. But then I'll go to the main part. Of course, I talked about music, I went at it in circles, but I'm gonna say this, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. The cinematography and CGI is amazing. This is one of the best CGI, shots, and it is very beautiful to look at. It is so nice. Every shot and every, set piece, I guess, I don't know, but every set or whatever it's called, like, even the battles in Hong Kong look very nice. And all for you MonsterVerse fans who are very disappointed that most of the time Godzilla films take place in the night, and they're poorly shot in the night. This film, thankfully, takes place in the day. Most Godzilla battles take place in the day. Only that 10% of the time, Godzilla actually fights in the dark, but at least it's very nicely shot due to it's in Hong Kong, and it kind of reminds a lot of people of Pacific Rim. I also say, I'd say this film is, now let's go over my negatives. The twist. That came legitimately out of nowhere. I did not see any clues, and, it was so out of nowhere. The characters. I'd say they're not really developed, but you can't really blame it because all we just came here for is just for Godzilla and Kong duking it out and causing a lot of mayhem. I'd also say another complaint I have is probably some of Mechagodzilla's parts look kind of weird. Not really his leg or body structure. I'd say it's his eyes again. But overall, this film is a no-brainer. It's a good Godzilla and Kong film. It's very nicely shot, and basically, it's a very good film. I give Godzilla vs. Kong an 8.5 out of 10. Yes, I think this film is really good. I know a lot of people, I know it's a very specific, type of score, because everyone's either saying, oh, it's good, oh, it's bad. I know Toho Animation said that he gave this film a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I would just give this film an 8.5 out of 10. It's good, it's just there are some things wrong with it. But, who knows? So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.